let's kind of get started, because I like to reward the people who show up on time. Because I tend to be one of those people. So while we're here, I know everybody here has already done the survey, so that's awesome. And I really appreciate that. And I know Amy does too. I'm going to try to see if we can get some more responses from people within the next couple weeks, and then I'll send it to Amy. I know it's hard to know what you're going to be doing this winter because everything is, who knows? But it looks like right now, Amy, it's kind of split between people that are doing some shopping right now, people allowing participants to come in and shop, and people that are doing drive up. And I think it's hard with weather, and it's hard with COVID numbers right now for people to figure out what's best.
Right, absolutely. And I think that that's where I think that that's where I want to be sure that I can offer support, because I know there are a lot of people that are doing drive-through or outdoor distributions. Maybe they'll need canopies or heaters or benches or thermal blankets. Maybe not thermal blankets, but I'm thinking for like cooler stuff. Any kind of thing, or rollers like Dave Bean up in District Exchange. He does drive-through, and I'm not sure if I shared this with you guys, but he ended up getting the rollers, you know, like they have in warehouses that you kind of like push the boxes down, the rollers.
Oh, wow, like a conveyor belt?
Kind of, exactly. So it's, I don't know how long it is. It's got to be, geez, it's got to be 15, 20 feet long. So he's got all of the volunteers in the space packing boxes, and they'll shove it down. And, you know, there'll be a volunteer making sure it doesn't fall off. And then there'll be volunteers to pack. So it's like, not only do you need less volunteers, but it's not as much lifting and fatigue on the bodies.
Which is hard on those volunteers. Yeah.
Yeah. Something is out of the box is that's what I'm looking for, is what kind of support can Good Shepherd give?
That's an awesome
That's
idea.
pretty cool. Do you have a picture of anything like that? I mean, because we can put it out on email if we're not going to get many people here of that type of thing. And I think those little canopy tents make a huge difference, even if it's just over the doorway and volunteers are bringing stuff in and out over the doorway to a car.
Yes.
And it could, you know, a drive-through canopy would be awesome, right? So that way when the door opens, no one's getting wet in the car.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see if Dave can send me a picture and get it to
you. Guys funding that type of thing?
So we are always here as a resource to ask. And we get a lot of donors that are geographically specific. So there may be somebody that says, I just want to give this money and I want it used in Norway, or I want it used in Peru. Right now we're doing another, come November 1st, we're going to be doing another capacity building grant round. We did 2 last year, and we're doing another one this fall. And that's the stuff that we can use that money for. So if Karen or Rosalie, if you have an idea that comes out that you're like, I don't know if this qualifies, just ask me. It can be totally out of the box. So yeah, rollers, canopies, coolers, benches, even fluorescent jackets, cones. I mean, I know, Karen, I know people are coming in right now, and you guys have done an amazing job like moving your stuff around for more room. But even if they're waiting outside and they need a bench to sit on, you know, something like that. So
nice. We have actually done the drive up distribution again. So we're kind of doing that until things get better in this area.
Okay.
Jackets was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Dark. I mean, there's some, I know that we're starting to see more pantries. I've seen some on Wednesday nights now. I know Rosalie's is doing hers from 4 to 6. And River Valley is now 3 to 6 on Wednesdays. It's dark at 5 o'clock. in a month and it's dark at 4 o'clock. So, having something like that for the safety of the volunteers is really important.
Absolutely.
That's good to know. So when are the grants due? When are you looking for people to send in? I can write up something about it.
So the email is going to be coming out November 1st to our partners, and
Okay.
they have until December 3rd to get the applications in.
Oh, good. So I can just tell them to look for that and
Look for, have the
suggestions.
partners.
Yeah, have them look for that. Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Rosalie. Rosalie is has lost her longtime pantry director and is stumped for how to find someone to do this. I was hoping we were going to have some other pantry directors on to talk about, what what attracts you to doing this job. And most of them are volunteers. So, what's your why, so that we can, they can advertise to that, when I say, what's your why do you do this?
And
where's Karen from? I came in late on this.
Hi, I'm Karen Eastman, and I do the Servants Hut Food Pantry over in Peru.
I beg your pardon?
I'm over in Peru, Servants Hut Food Pantry.
Oh, okay.
Seven Hearts Food Pantry.
I had wondered if perhaps you were from Oxford. There is a Karen there. But.
Yep. And Rosalie's at the Oxford Hills Food Pantry in Norway. So they've been trying to find a new director. There does not seem to be somebody from within the organization who would like to rise to the top. And unfortunately, Rosalie is, I think, the treasurer. Is that right?
I'm the treasurer, yes.
And so Rosalie has been tasked with managing this until a permanent director can be found. So, and Amy, I mean, what's your experience with pantries? They do seem to be a passion project, or started as a passion project by an individual very often.
well, actually, and I apologize, Karen, but I'm going to put Karen on the spot. I'm going to put Karen on the spot because she has experienced, the loss of a partner that was working very closely with her. The facility that she had that was just phenomenal. At the same time, she lost access to that and had to really just turn on a dime and just make things work. And Karen and her volunteers, I think that I definitely have stories to tell, but sorry, Karen, can I put you on the spot?
No, what you said is true. It was really difficult when my co-director decided to leave. I just think that moving to the church, she didn't belong to our church, and I think she felt that it wasn't going to be a good fit for her. So it was really difficult, but we had all those super volunteers that stayed with us, and they just were great. I mean, and we had one thing after another, finally getting the move settled, and it was a much smaller space. We then were struck the next year with COVID, so it's been like a roller coaster. But I had volunteered probably about 4 or 5 years before with Brenda Swan as our director over there at the elementary school, and she was just fabulous and really learned to love the food pantry business, and the people. So when they approached me to do it, I just, but I had no idea. Thank God Amy was there to help me, because I really was just a volunteer and had no idea what to do. So it worked. I had a lot of good help. And
Well, Rosalie, I mean, I think you have a pretty good volunteer base right now, right?
We could use some more because of the expanded hours. We really need some more volunteers to actually work work our hours in the pantry. I do have a new volunteer coming in November. But no, during COVID, we lost a number of our volunteers.
Yeah.
Once they stopped coming, they have not come back.
And that- yeah.
It's even hard to get them to work. They simply have found other things to do. They also have found that as they age, now is a good time to stop. So they're not coming back.
I wonder, I don't know. I mean, I know there's a few food pantries that I can think of that have like a rolling list of volunteers. And I wonder if there's any way that there can be some collaboration amongst the food pantries. Because, for example, again, District Exchange, he's got so many that he just goes through the list, right? He's like, I'll take this one, this one, this one, this one. And then next week it's this one, this one, this one, this one. And I wonder if there's a way to collaborate with the people who have a nice foundation that they're willing to kind of move. But I know also that probably the volunteers that go to Oxford Hill Food Pantry, they go there because they're following their heart, right? They have a special reason for being there, which is kind of difficult, I think, to get people to go other places.
Do you know if Faylene has a large volunteer base at the Norway lunch on Wednesdays? Because it's so close. So jumping in and joining with her volunteers or collaborating with her seems logical, at least geographically.
The problem with that is that I'm on the board for Norway Lunch as well as the Oxford Hills Food Pantry.
Mm-hmm.
The board for community lunch wants to start the luncheon up. And if they do that, they will use those volunteers that Faylene has. I have not asked her if some of her volunteers would like to work at the pantry. That's true, I haven't done that. Maybe I need to reach out and see if some of them would. There are a couple of her volunteers who do work on the pantry
Right.
already, but they've done it, on a regular basis.
Right. The guy who brings the meat from the pantry over, I know, there are some people. I think that's a place where you might want to try some collaborating with Faylene, especially if they're transitioning from doing the food boxes out front and being more of a pantry to being lunch. So their lunch is only one day a week. And the pantry in Norway in Oxford Hills is open for 3 days.
3 days a week
now, and those hours do not overlap if you're doing the afternoon pantry time. So, I mean, I think Faylene does have a lot of people that, and just tell her you're stuck, you need some help, and she may be even able to offer. I'm not saying that she's going to want to help run the pantry and be the pantry director, but she has a lot more experience with that now than she did 2 years ago in acquiring that food and distributing it. And it's all in the same area. That's, you're serving
that's
similar people.
That's one of the problems. I'm wondering if, you see, the Oxford Hills Food Pantry has been in the pantry business for 31 years, probably longer than that. But in the meantime, you see, Oxford Helping Hands has come on board, Harrison Food Bank has come on board, and then Faylene with the, bags in the trunk has come on board, and she took over because of COVID. So our clientele overall has been less anyway. I mean, our clientele numbers are smaller because we have competition. We have good competition.
Well, I
So-
wouldn't call it competition, but they have other opportunities for food. It's not a competition. In fact, I think we all really want to go out of business. I think that's actually the goal, is to not have more people come, but to feel that people are getting their needs met and that we can close up shop. So I mean, don't think about it as they're stealing your people and they're being.
No, but I'm just explaining.
Yeah, there's
in
more
our
opportunities
area,
in
that
other
is what
places.
has happened over the past 5 years.
Right. So why is Oxford Hills adding more hours when they have less volunteers and less people coming? Maybe the idea should go the other direction. I don't know. I don't know if you guys thought about that.
What we did, let me see, when COVID started, the church closed us down and only allowed us to do Mondays and Fridays. Once it stopped, they said we could have our Wednesday back. And the local area clergy association has suggested that we have hours like 4 to 6 to accommodate those people who couldn't come during the day. Our normal hours are 9 to 11. So that's when the board voted to, when we added Wednesday, we would add 4 to 6. It's too early to know whether or not that's going to pick up. Right now, it is not. It's not being used a lot. I don't know whether 6 months or a year would make a difference. It just depends on what happens with all the other, things that matter as far as people needing food.
Right. And also information about it. So does the signage out front say Wednesdays from 4 to 6? I think it still says Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to noon or something. So I think getting the word out to people who are working is harder. And people are creatures of habit. So if they go on Mondays, they always go on Mondays. That's very true. But I think, if we could do a good job of letting, like, the row PTO let people know, for families that are in the area, that the pantry's open from 4 to 6 on Wednesdays, you might find some more people coming.
That's possible. We do have a new sign in front of the church
Okay.
that says that, the new hours are posted there. You're right, the old sign is still there. Maybe I should take it down.
But if you have a hard time with getting volunteers to fill the hours, I'm just surprised you would have more hours.
Well, anyway, we're trying to do it for now.
Yeah.
and
No,
see what
I
happens.
think that 4 to 6 is good if we could get people to come. And I would talk to Faylene if I were you. Absolutely. She's got volunteers dialed in. And, as people are vaccinated, some of her volunteers may be looking for things to do and to get out, and reaching back to your old volunteers to see if they're more comfortable coming at this point. It is.
Yes. Well,
Karen,
that's a
how are
good
you
point.
for your volunteers?
I think I'll try that.
Yeah. Does anybody else have any other suggestions? Or know anybody who might want to do this?
Amy, do you have any suggestions about advertising or getting the word out that we need a director?
Do you guys have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do.
You do. So that's an excellent way. And I know that Holly has her connections is an excellent way to get it out. Do you have I wonder, actually, do you have anything that kind of states what you're looking for a director, like a kind of like a job description? I know that, or do you think Beth has something like that?
I haven't written it up yet.
Okay, well, you've been a little busy, so I get it. Um, so, but I think that something like that we could put out in the network too. I mean, I could put that across Oxford County, you know, in the geographic areas that make sense. And I just took on half of Cumberland. There are some places in Cumberland that's not too far from Norway, so Oxford. I think it's just, yeah, putting it out there, word of mouth. Karen, do you have any suggestions?
Also, have you talked to like the Rotary or the Chamber of Commerce? Sometimes there are people who are looking for opportunities and things, and they go to those places sometimes.
No, I haven't. I'm not, I'm a much better treasurer than I am as an acting director.
Right. So is
So-
there somebody else there who is able to help you? I mean, that's the other thing, you know, maybe it's a divide and conquer thing. Maybe,
Mhm.
you know, you can find somebody who's really good on the computer and is good at ordering and that's kind of stuff. You've already got Dell who's receiving stuff and he goes and picks up. So maybe it's a, you know, divide it up and make it not such a big job.
One
Mhm.
person, yeah.
Well, that too. Those are good ideas.
Yeah, who else is on the board with you and say, look, you're really good at this. How about taking this part? So as you think about that job description and you think about the different things that somebody is required to do, sometimes it's hard to find somebody with all those skills and talents. And maybe it's not one person, maybe it's the board who takes this on and different people do different things and they're not just figureheads, but they're actually doing a required job.
Okay, well, we have split up a lot of the jobs.
Well, good.
While Beth is, you know, out of the state. She's still in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm keeping her as the director in name only because I just feel that we need to have a director. So the Good Shepherd funnels everything to Beth because she's still our acting director. And then Beth funnels it to me immediately. So then it's my job to take care of it from there, which I try to do. And just as your messages go to Beth, you've been sending them to me, but she also sends them to me too.
Yeah.
So I get them twice.
Oh, well, I will take her off the distribution list. But yeah. Does anybody else have any suggestions? Karen, do you have any ideas?
Well, not for a director, but I think, but you would just suggest it was a wonderful idea breaking that up like that. But, you know, I had a lady approach me the other day. She was a new client and she was interested in volunteering as well as being a client. And I know some food pantries do that because she had asked me if that was part, you know, does she have to work for the food? But, you know, some people really enjoy that. So that might be an idea. If you have a client that is very helpful and friendly, maybe ask them if they wanted to volunteer certain days of the week, you know?
You know, there are some people.
One of our standard policies is not to have anyone work at the pantry who uses the pantry.
You know, there's a lot of different theories on that too.
And the only thing is, I know a lot of pantries question that are partners with Good Shepherd Food Bank. And the only thing like with Good Shepherd, like only thing that we ask is that like volunteers don't get preferential treatment, or volunteers don't get the first
Right.
pick of food or the
Mhm.
better parts of food or
Sure.
stuff, so that it's so totally equitable. That's the only thing that we would ever ask. Because I do know that a lot of people who are clients, they go there for their social too, right? They go there for the
Right.
community feel. So
I mean, Rosalie, I recruited from my first cooking class, several people who go to the pantry regularly, like the women who get the produce from Hannaford and bring them on Mondays and Fridays are very gregarious and very dependable. There's 3 or 4 of them. I know Jody McCloskey, Heidi, and they might be very capable in helping as volunteers, and and maybe even more. The people who use the pantry really are invested in a way that a volunteer who's not using the pantry isn't. They're depending on it. And there's actually a very famous book called The Stop, and it's about a pantry that was started, and it became a whole community center because it was about the people who worked at the pantry actually grew the food, and they were the beneficiaries of it, and they were cooking the food and eating it, and it became a food system,
Mhm.
this food pantry. And I think that reaching out to people who are there regularly, who present themselves in a way that you're comfortable with and that communicate well and are friendly, I think that may be a really good option to think about and to bring up with your board about using volunteers who are also recipients at the pantry. People don't necessarily want charity. They would like to work for it and to be helpful in it. It's a sense of dignity and a sense of pride.
Well, that's true. And Jody and Heidi are wonderful. They take care of the Hannaford deliveries. They pick it up and do it every single week, Monday and Friday.
I know.
I mean, they're
And they've
wonderful.
been doing it for years, and they've come to my cooking classes, and they're so engaging, and they're smart. They're very smart women. I think that if you could talk with them and tell them what problems you're having, they would want to help. I mean, they saw a need and
Mhm.
stepped in and have been doing it for years. So I think that kind of speaks to, reaching out.
And Rosalie, I know that this it could just be a Band-Aid for now, but please know that if you are overwhelmed administratively at any point, or Dell or anybody, that's what I'm here for too. Use me administratively. If you can't do some intake, anything that is kind of like background, please let me know, reach out so that I can take some load off your plate while you're going through this transition.
Okay.
Yeah, and some
Thank
of
you.
those volunteers who aren't showing up may be there. Like Julie Lester, I didn't even know you were in here, but I'm really glad you're here because your name was on the tip of my tongue because of this problem. And I know you're doing a lot of volunteering and you care about this community.
We're trying, baby. I wanted to ask about the director. I have a person who's interested. So I
Okay.
wanted to know what basically is like a time commitment, and is there,
It's about 10 hours a week,
oh, okay.
and it's heavier during the Thanksgiving basket time.
Mm.
But Beth says that 10 hours a week is about the average for
And
the
what
director.
are there a lot of like phone calls and organizing and orchestrating? Is there many like on-site times or?
It has been. For instance, Beth always took care of the Food Works. Every
Mhm.
third Friday, Food Works has the meals that are delivered or given out at the pantry.
Mhm.
And so I've been covering that for her. The other, and part of that 10 hours a week is actually working in the pantry, being aware of everything that's going on, training new people. That has always been her job. Trying to
Are
think of-
these daytime hours or are these evening hours that could, or is it flexible?
I'm sorry, would you repeat?
Are they daytime hours or are they things that can be done in the evening, or what is sort of those expectations?
I would think that it just depends on what it is, what she's taking care of at any given time. Responding to Good Shepherd when there's food that needs to be taken off the shelf. Making sure that the order is done, what we need. Notifying the driver who's going to go down to Good Shepherd and pick it up. Those are all things that I really need to jot down, and I don't have them in front of, in
Okay.
front of me right now.
Contact information that I can have them give you a call or give someone a call to sort that out?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Is there a contact information that I can have them call and sort out the details and see if it's something that fits well?
You could call me.
Okay.
I'm the one who's trying to find a director.
Sure. Is there?
And then if we did find someone who was interested,
Mhm.
I have a board member who would help do the interviewing.
Okay. Do you know who that is?
She doesn't want to take the pantry back over. She used to be our director, but
Oh.
she would do the interviewing.
Sure. Who is that? Who is that?
Lisa Jones.
Oh, okay.
Julie, I'm gonna send you,
Okay.
oh, actually, I don't have your contact information. I must have.
You got Facebook anyway.
Yeah, I have it. I'll send you Rosalie's. I have it with
Okay.
Alan stuff. So I,
Yeah, give that contact information and yeah, I'll have them call you guys and see if there's something that can fit.
cool. I was thinking you would be good at it, Julie.
Oh, I know, but woof, we're kind of sorting things out at the moment.
I mean, I literally have your name on a scratch piece of paper saying, oh,
I know, and I'm not opposed, but we'll go this route first. We'll dip in slowly.
be a connector, be a connector. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I have your contact. I do. Although I don't know why you call your farm Dead Apple Farm. I think
Oh, you got it. Yeah. Oh, dead apple trees, they're trying, but so okay, yeah, give that to me at some point and then we'll go from there.
I will send that to you right after this call. Rosalie, I hope this has given you some good ideas. I know we have a very small group today, but I think it actually was good for having this discussion. And I hope something comes out of it and that we can get you some help and you can go back to just being the treasurer.
Yes,
So
thank
that's
you very
great.
much. I would love.
Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about today? Karen or Amy, do you guys have anything else, or Julie?
I was actually concerned if anybody else noticed a decrease in their retail pickup from the stores that they have, like Walmart or Hannaford. Do they notice a decrease in product? I've been noticing a lot less lately. And this week, for our 2 days, we really only had a small amount of bread and pastry that we picked up, and And that was it. No, hardly any refrigerated food or, I think there was one box of meat. I was just wondering if anybody else was having that issue.
You have to remember that last week was Freiburg Fair, and so they cut back on what they're having in the stores anyway, because they know traditionally that's a slow week.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yes.
I had no idea.
Faylene normally does 70 bags, but she only gave out 40 that week. And she and I both realized that it's because of the Freiburg Fair. People don't come. They're busy. They're doing other things.
Wow.
Has it been a trend, Karen? How long have you seen it?
Well, I mean, I was asked to go share in some of Dixfield Common Road's pantries produce. They had a lot of grapes and whatnot. So I went over and I was shocked at the amount of produce they had. And I said, wow, where'd you get all these wonderful vegetables? And she said, oh, well, we have Walmart in Hannaford. And I'm thinking, I just don't get anything like that. I haven't got produce from Hannaford more than a little box for months and months and months.
Really? So I'm looking at the day that you pick up, Hannaford, Rumford. You do Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yep.
So the only thing I can think of is because Dixfield, there was nobody doing Wednesday for a very long time.
Right.
So Dixfield would have a double, they would have Wednesday and Thursday. And
Right.
then nobody's on Saturday, but Canton goes on Sunday.
You know who's on Wednesdays and Saturdays now is River Valley Healthy Communities just opened their old school pantry in Rumford.
Right, they got Wednesdays.
And they're doing produce the first and third Wednesday, and they're doing that on Saturdays as well, every other Saturday.
Yeah, they're picking up on Wednesdays. So Dixfield's probably going to see a little bit less food, but I don't know why you're not getting a lot of produce.
Receive that wonderful food. I was just curious. I don't begrudge them that. We've been very
Right.
fortunate because we were receiving some of the wonderful veggies from the growers group there in River Valley.
Growers, the Gardeners Growing Healthy Communities.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
We're very lucky with that. And we have the Canton floodplains farm that was also very good to us. So we received plenty of vegetables and we get a lot from Good Shepherd. So I was just, wondering why we such a decrease. That's all.
Because I talked to Canton today. I talked to Lisa today, and she too said that she has an abundance. So I don't know. I just am not sure. Are you saying? Did you say you pick up at Walmart too, hon?
No, only
No.
Hannaford.
Just Hannaford. I thought so.
I did talk to the store manager because I was wondering if it was the time my volunteers were picking up. They were going really early. So I talked to the store manager and he said that 8 o'clock would be better, but he just really didn't have anything extra that day. So they were following the proper procedures and everything. So that's just what we get. I guess. Yeah.
Well, just let me know if it continues, because like I said, I'll see how Old School starts picking up too, and we'll see if there's a trend, if there's something I need to talk to them about, or if it's just,
very kind. So it's probably just the days. Maybe they don't have a lot after the
Maybe.
weekend, so.
Yeah. Keep me posted, and I'll be talking to the other people that pick up to see anyways. So thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
So cool.
Anything
Yeah, I
else?
asked, I texted the girls at Old School, or the River Valley girls. I said, hey, you guys gonna come on the call? And they said,
No, they
no,
wrote
we've
me.
got produce.
Right, they wrote me earlier today to give me their calendar updates, to put them on the calendar and saying that they're doing their produce from 3 to 6. So they're not gonna be on the call.
Yeah. it would have been neat to hear some updates from them for sure.
Yeah, I did get a good update. Hold on a second, I can share a little bit with you. They were pretty excited. They got, they had quite a, on the first day, on the 6th, they had 27 families, 87 people. So their hours are a little funky. How they're doing them.
Yeah,
And
they're
that made me
great,
a little
though.
confusing. Like she had to send me the flyer so I could figure out how to put them on the calendar. They're kind of all
yeah,
eating just pantry and produce and but
yeah,
whoever goes there will get into the flow. I'm assuming. It's just
yeah. And they did it really smart as far as, opening at night during the week and in the morning on the weekend on Saturday.
Right.
They did it good to see how it's gonna work, right? So yeah,
right.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. So
Yeah.
well, if anybody has anything else, let me know. If not, we can end the call. Thank you all for coming. I thought it was, even though we had a really small group, I thought it was a great discussion. And I hope, Rosalie, that this helps. And by next month, you have a new director.
Let's see. Okay, thank
You
you.
never know.
Bye.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
So
Bye-bye.
great to see you.
To see you